This is a steel conference. And steel is more often than not, a state subject. There can be no growth if the state is not aligned to the subject. In this country, it's a blessing. The idea to share this 2 minutes of yours in my very short 10 minutes was to tell you, when pesticides were found in Pepsi and Coke, was it a standards issue? Were there no standards? Or Pepsi is a small company? As I said in the morning, 126 years have gone, and American Iron and Steel Institute is still finding what quality is. I have chaired many sessions as far as regulatory compliances are concerned and formulation of logic. I stand on the ASTM D01.53 committee in US, which formulates ASTM standards. Idea is standard the science that drives the art called quality? I will not waste time defining quality. All of us know what quality is. If 1.2 billion people know exactly what governance they want, and if 1.2 billion people vote for the right government, then it is a mistake to assume that a poor man is a stupid man. It is a mistake to assume that a poor man can be fooled by anybody. It is a mistake to assume that a poor man does not understand value for his money. And that is a central strategic challenge of standards and quality. Standard is a science. Standard is formulated for products, for processes. Quality is a religion. The problem with standards is standards are formulated after a product has been innovated. Standards lag innovation. And this connection needs to be understood. As I said in the morning, are there any standards for humanity? And on this, I'll spend another 2 minutes for the learned audience to understand my point. When the pesticides controversy happened, I was the president of International Soft Drinks Manufacturing Association. It's a very powerful association. It has an association which has people like Pepsi-Cola, Coca-Cola, Heineken, Foster's, InBev. It is an association which is responsible for the human health of 7 billion people on this planet. And when this happened, my wife is a doctor, and I said, it has been proven this pesticide is coming from the groundwater. Nobody's adding pesticide, still it is a quality problem. How do we address it? And I appeared on behalf of International Soft Drinks Manufacturing Association in the Honorable Supreme Court. On my right-hand side was Mr. Harish Salve, representing Coca-Cola. On my left-hand side was Kapil Sibal, representing Pepsi-Cola. And I was in the middle. And let me quote this incident. Mr. Kapil Sibal told to the Chief Justice, "Your Honor, do you drink the charge that is available in your canteen?" He said, "Yes, what's the point?" He said, "We analyzed that charge. It has 1,000% more pesticides than Pepsi-Cola." You know what the Chief Justice replied? He said, "Maybe, but we want to make a start. And the fish rots at the head. So we want to make a start with you." Then I raised my hand. I said, "Your Honor, can I submit?" He said, "Who the hell are you?" I said, "My name is so-and-so, and I'm the president of International Soft Drinks Manufacturing Association." They allowed me to speak. If you're not a lawyer, you cannot speak. I said, at breakfast, I asked my wife, "How do you define poison?" And she said, "Poison is a dose-dependent function." So I said, by that logic, if you consume homeopathic medicine, is alcohol good for health? And my dad said something. Today you are trying to punish a product because you have the ability to test those levels. And Dad threw me a question. He said, when I was your age, and this was 2006, almost 13, 15 years back, Dad said, when I was your age, the permissible lead limits in food were 50 parts per million. Today, they are 50 parts per billion, and when your kids will be your age, that permissible limit will be 50 parts per trillion. Are you trying to tell me that I was half as healthy as you are, or your children would be half as healthy as you will be? So should we make standards only because we can check more? Or should we have quality dependent on our ability to have manifest analytical skills? Where is the fine line? Where does it stop and when does it stop? So welcome to the talk. This was on the side. My talk starts now. Standards and quality, the ecosystem. On an average, a human being takes 23,000 breaths a day. Average 23,000 breaths a day. You don't need to take photographs. This presentation will be widely circulated. Enjoy the session. Now, are you trying to tell me if 23,000 breaths is a God-made standard, does it guarantee quality of life? What is the difference between a good quality product and a bad quality product? Quality is a market-driven necessity, not a standard-driven policy. And this gap needs to be understood. Facebook came up with a cryptocurrency. The chief banker of United States is struggling to say, well, I don't know how this is going to work. Do standards come in way of innovation? And I throw one more question at you. Standards and quality, is it an ethics question? I went to a concert, a pretty advertised concert, paid $150. But I didn't enjoy the song. I didn't enjoy the singer. Can I sue him for my $150? Because it was bad quality. What is the moral responsibility of standards? It's great to have standards, but should standards be only a copy and paste job? Oh, let's see what ASTM says, what JIS says, what ISO says, so we'll have the same standards. Is that the way we should make standards? Or is that the way we should define quality? No country can survive without quality, and standards are mandatory. Standards is what is constitution of four walls within which a product works. But how should they be made? What applies to United States on a $50,000 per capita income, should that apply to a country with a $1,500 per capita income? Ford came into this country in 1994-95. Hyundai came in 2000. Ford has a minuscule share of 4% only in the automotive segment. Hyundai has gone to 30%. Ford said, we want to launch a car. We want to launch a cheap car. India needs a cheap car. This is a case study out of IIM Ahmedabad. So they got four of their engineers together. They said, make me a cheap car for India. Four brilliant engineers in Detroit. They said, wow, cheap car, no problems. Why do we need power steerings and 4 doors? Let's take power steerings off the 2 back doors. Why do we need cushion, a lot of cushion on the back seat? Let's take the cushioning off. Let's make it cheap. And they launched in 1997-98 a brand called Ford Fiesta. Great car, great mileage, great everything. Sales zoomed up, sales came down, bang. So what happened? It's a cheap car, gives you a good mileage, it's within standards, great quality, but we are not successful. Example is, even if there are standards and quality, your product might fail. Understand the consumer interaction here. Standards and quality stand on consumer. If there were no consumers, there would be no products, there would be no requirement of quality. If there would be no requirement of quality, there would be no standards. What they forgot was, in Ford, that in India, a person who buys a $15,000 car is usually a rich guy. And all rich guys in India have drivers. So when the rich guy sat in the rear seat, guess who got the power windows? The driver. Who got the good seats? The drivers. Quality can be regulated by standards if standards are made keeping in mind the requirement of the geopolitical needs of the consumer and the affordability along with the moral responsibility of the standard-making body. Standard-making bodies are professional organizations. They're not paid a lot. They don't make a lot of money. Why should they toil so much to make a standard that fits the need of the hour? And that is the challenge. So let's talk about what is affordability. Affordability is hinging on innovation. Innovation comes when there is a need. If there will be no need, there will be no ecosystem for innovation. So cellular initiation of innovation is affordability. Having access to basic amenities through availability of commodity goods is a right of every Indian. He should have goods which are affordable. So this is the challenge. He should have goods which are affordable and of good quality. Affordability should not be linked with bad quality. There is nothing called cheap. Berkeley defines cheap as innovation on cost. It is the most difficult innovation on cost, keeping the same quality parameters. So going forward, if we look at moral responsibility, what is the moral responsibility of standard-making bodies? Availability of goods at hands away is just a moral responsibility of standardization. How do we manage this? You make a product affordable and you say, well, the quality has to be good. This is where we need to define what quality applies to this country is not the same quality that applies to United States of America. Quality index will improve over decades. As per capita income increases, quality will improve based on market forces. Standards are the driving force that initiate a lens called quality. We go to another small question. Often it is perceived, not often, when I see, it is perceived in India that small and medium industries circumvent standards and produce bad quality products. That is not true. That is not true. Globally, small and medium industries are the producers of best quality products. It is not true that if you are small, then you cannot produce a bad quality product. It's a different discussion that if you're small and circumventing the law, then the issue is legal, issue is not standardization and quality. Understand, if someone breaks the law, then issue is not standardization and quality. Then issue is something else. You're breaking the law. The reverse is also equally true by assumption that big industries make good quality, not necessarily. If that was the case, Pepsi and Coke wouldn't have pesticides in their drink. Fine, it was in groundwater, but you should have had a mechanism, a risk mitigation mechanism against checking what goes into your product that goes into human body. You cannot say sorry for my loss. So the assumption that small industries make bad products and big industries make good products need to be understood if you really want to do a good job about standards and quality, if you want to do a meaningful job. What does this mean? Being small doesn't mean being unorganized. Two of the biggest industrialized nations today, most successful industrialized nation on the manufacturing index are Germany and Japan. Both constitute more than 60% of that's produced through small scale and medium industries. Who can challenge me saying that small and medium industries do not produce good quality products? Now, it's a different debate and discussion what infrastructure small and medium industry needs to put to produce good quality products. That is not the talk of the day. The talk of the day is, let us not make a standard only perceiving that small industry circumvents the law, small industry make a bad product, so make a standard, copy paste, and give it to a country with a per capita $1,500 income, a standard that works for $50,000 per capita income. That's not fair. And why these countries can do a great job is because of meaningful development between industry and academia. You would be happy to know, in the United States, in Germany, if a professor does not spend 41%, and I'm quoting the exact figure, 40% of his time, he doesn't log intertwining at an industry, in an industry place, his research and development is not recognized. Which is why Facebook hires all the emeritus engineers from University of Georgia, University of Wisconsin, University of Madison, and what have you, so that they come to Facebook, they study. There was a list of famous Indian scientists which got an award from the White House. Indian scientists, and most of them are working for companies in Silicon Valley. So saying small is bad, we need standards for small. No, let's correct that perception. We need to help small and medium industry through academia, through other means to produce good quality product. And they do produce good quality products. Moving on to the next ethics question on steel. McDonald's is luxury. When I go to meet my relatives who are in small towns, says, can we go and eat in McDonald's? It's a question of respect. It's a luxurious brand. But McDonald's is an affordable brand in the United States. It's not a brand. I will have to skip some slides because of the time permitted. And this is what I want to say. Quality is a choice. It is a religion. It is not a citizenship. Please understand, it changes with time. And consumer goods innovation is always in sync with this ability to afford. And quality, thus, is a difference between what a product promises to do and what it actually does. This also applies to one of the biggest products that we consume day in, day out, water. We have standards for water, but is water that we drink of good quality? They're produced by the best companies today. The quality of potable bottled water today is not as good. Who do we blame? So is improving quality only because of standards? Let's not blame standards. Standards are doing a great job. BIS is doing a great job. I will cut short my slides to the point that I'm trying to make. Standards, market, and government. We have to be progressive. Progressive often means that we have to make superior products than decreeing products in the garb of high standards. We cannot do that. We have to be passionate, which means when we produce goods within standards, we have to be progressive. We have to be proactive. Government needs to come in. For example, do you need to put seat belts on when you're driving? Of course, it's a question of human life. It's not a question of standards. Mandatory standards are made when it's a question of human life. Of course, you have a price control on pharmaceutical goods. It's a question of human life. So why alone blame standards for the lack of quality? Quality is a religion. It needs to go on. That's on proactivity. And professionalism, of course. You need to be professional in your approach. So standards should not be limited to impacting the reduction of worst malpractices. No, that should not be the end of standards and standardization. This is not how you contain quality. Before I leave, I'd like to say that if I look at the quality index of United States in certain areas, it is well below the quality index of India. There's a paper published on this. So let's not assume that just because we are poor, we have bad quality. No, we have great quality, aerospace, nuclear. It's a question of what will be our collective wisdom to take this forward, and how serious will we be on standardization to make it a catalyst to progress towards a great quality, great product nation. Thank you for listening.